Hello, everybody. My name is Jenny Glad, and this is the class about the morning mastery tools for focused and balanced day. And I'm not only going to talk about the mornings, I'm going to talk about the tools, different kind of a toolbox that you can build to master your days. And how to master your days. What does it mean? Well, in general, people want to feel more in control, less stressed, more regulated, more balanced, more productive, and more focused. And this is all that I'm talking with my clients. And we have all of these kind of habits. We have the habit hacks, we have guidance, we have self-help, we have neuroscience saying we have to do this and that to master our lives and ourselves better during the days. And I'm, of course, really obsessed about all of these things. And I love changing habits. I have loved to build my morning routines, my daily routines that are really essential in my personal and professional life. But also, there's so much out there that it's not always easy to know what to do and how to change our habits, but what kind of tools to pick to our days. And today, I want to help you to start creating better, more balanced, more productive days for yourself and build your kind of a daily practice. And maybe you have already had different kind of tools in your day. Maybe you hear yourself saying, I should practice, for example, meditation more. I should journal more. I should feel calmer more. I want to feel more confident. I should have done more today. Quite often, that's something that we think at the end of the day. Or we feel super stressed out at the end of the day. And overwhelm is something that many of us feel throughout their days, starting from the morning. That overwhelm, I have done another podcast episode on that, on overwhelm. And it's an interesting sensation. It's not an emotion, it's a sensation when we feel like all the balls are dropping out of our hands and we don't know how to fix that. So today, my intention for this session today is to help you build up your daily routines, start your day with clarity and energy instead of that overwhelm, and know how to change the course of your day when you get overwhelmed or feel stressed out or there's big emotions and suddenly you feel angry. But how to stay focused and productive without feeling completely exhausted at the end of the day or in the middle of the day. How to maintain mental and emotional balance. How to build your daily habits that fit into your lifestyle, support your well-being and performance. Get things done. And I have a workbook, a daily clarity planner habits, including 5 questions that I personally use. And I personally designed that to help myself to maintain clarity throughout my days, throughout my weeks. As a busy entrepreneur and business owner, busy solo parent, my schedules are quite hectic and my time is my most precious thing in my life. And I'm become like very picky how I use my time, but also how much I prioritize my own well-being, my health and mental, emotional, spiritual well-being as well. As I look at things holistically, it's all the foundation to my life, to my work, to results, what I see, and of course, relationships. Because so often I hear people saying that they want to be more present with their family, they want to be more present with their partners, kids, and feel good and confident and calm in general. I personally, I can't do the 5 a.m. club. If you know the book, that you're waking up at 5 a.m. and then you do your meditation, then you do your exercise, and then you do your self-growth, which could be like reading a book. I'm not an early riser. Never been able to wake up early. Nowadays, I wake up a lot earlier than I have woken up before because I need that time for myself before my child wakes up, for example. It absolutely, absolutely non-negotiable in my life and in my days when I wake up earlier and when I set myself ready. And today I'm going to run you through what are the little things that you can do because it doesn't take that long time. All this, why we want to put in the effort, why we want to start creating these cute habits and bring these routines part of our days is helping us to feel more balanced. And really, that's what many people really, really crave. So 5 a.m. habit, if you are early riser and you won't know what you need to do and want to do, it's absolutely fabulous way to start your mornings. If you just have time to go to bed earlier and you get enough sleep. Sleep is something that I don't recommend anybody to sacrifice. I've been there personally. I remember when I was a student, I realized like I don't need that much sleep anymore. So I can study more, I can do more, I can party throughout all the weekends and then I still have energy. And it went well for a while, but then I realized that I'm becoming much, much more tired and over that time, like overwhelmed because the lack of sleep is absolutely what I see why people feel so distracted, overwhelmed, lack focus quite often if they don't get enough sleep. I'm going to record a separate episode on sleep and sleep habits and sleep chronotypes and all that. Today we're going to focus on these daily habits, but of course, sleep is essential and you need to know how much sleep you need to function well. And that changes throughout the life. So now I personally feel like I feel really good when I wake up at 6:30 or 7. But that time is not the time when there's sunlight yet. Hasn't risen yet, like especially during the winter time. So I cannot get those sunlights that everybody and neuroscience recommends that first thing you have to do is to get out and get some sunlight. Even though it's cloudy, it's good to go outside because that regulates your sleep rhythm and you sleep better and you sleep deeply. But of course, we can use like artificial lamps and all that. But that's not something that I personally do, but it's really, really helpful to get out and get some sunlight in the first hour or first 30 minutes after you have woke up. And depending on your lifestyle, where you are at the moment, I want you to start thinking about already, like if you say like you don't have enough time in the mornings and what could be the ways that where is the time going? Every time when you hear yourself saying that I don't know where my time goes, I don't have time for that, I don't have time for that, I wish I would have time for my well-being more, I wish I would have more time for self-care. We always find time what is important to us. Always. What we are motivated to do, we can find the time for it. What interests us, we can find time for it. When we feel that it's really, really important and valuable to us, and maybe the surroundings and what we see happening in our lives, usually it's really, really that it's giving us a motivation. So you need to understand your why with this. You need to understand why you should wake up a little bit earlier. Maybe you want to start working on a side project or something. Maybe it's like you want to feel better. Maybe you want to create a morning routine and habit, and this is what we're going to do here today. So how to transform your mornings and transform your days from stress to balance and productivity and calm. And I personally love little challenges because it's easier to get things started. It's easier to change our habits when we are consistently doing something for a certain amount of time. The basic rule is like it takes 21 days to change your habit, but it's not the same for everybody. Again, we are unique individual beings, and what works for the other people doesn't necessarily work for the others. But the habits and routines I'm going to share today are usually working for everybody in different kind of brains and different kind of lifestyles. But first, you need to learn how to carve time for it. And when you get the good feelings, when you get yourself going, when you're consistent a certain amount of time, So maybe you're taking like a 7-day challenge at first. Maybe you're taking a 30-day challenge. That would be really, really amazing because then you have time for little changes. You see what's working, what's not working. You see, like, you cannot keep yourself consistent every day. I'm not consistent with my morning routine every day. Like this morning, we were up during the night. I needed to let myself catch up with sleep. So I didn't wake up that early, but I did a little bit something. I did a short meditation. I got really grounded myself. I got ready for today, and I did a little to-do list for my today to get really clear what needs to happen today because I had a quite full day today before this class. So that's one way how to get yourself going. So it doesn't have to be a long time when you wake up. I highly recommend you not touching your phone first in the morning. This is backed up by neuroscience. Do not touch your phone first in the morning. It gets your brain overwhelmed. And the second thing, I recommend you to skip or postpone. You don't have to skip coffee, but don't drink coffee first in the morning. And this has been the most difficult thing for myself because I would love to give up on coffee. I would love to not to be addicted to coffee. I'm addicted. And I don't drink that much, but I drink coffee in the mornings, sometimes on the afternoons as well. I have replaced coffee with green tea a long, long time ago, and that feels good. And that's quite healthy, and that's good for your brain as well. It helps you to increase focus as well. Sometimes coffee is doing different things for some people. Some people I know, they have ADHD, for example. They can drink coffee in the evening and go to bed because it relaxes them. I'm not that kind of a person. Coffee makes me overwhelmed and anxious. So if you don't have a problem with coffee, stick with 1 cup or 2 cups per day max, and that's good. Why coffee is not that good? The research is actually saying that coffee is not good because it reduces the oxygen in your brain. So it slows down our brain. And I can personally feel it. And it depends of the day. It depends of the energy levels, how we have slept. It depends of the pressure, stress, things to do, all that, how we respond to different substances that coffee also is every day. So if you notice that coffee is making you overwhelmed and anxious in the morning, please keep coffee until, at least 1 hour until you have eaten the breakfast, and then you can have a cup of coffee. That's what you want to do. Obviously, coffee is not recommended later on the afternoon because it can make you wake up early hours in the middle of the night. It's like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Sometimes we don't know when people say, like, I don't know why I'm waking up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. I'm usually asking, are you drinking coffee on the afternoon? Especially when there's no stress, no conscious reason why you're waking up, why your mind is waking you up to worry or feel stressed out about anything, then the coffee could be causing that thing. And then you can skip the afternoon coffee and switch that to decaf or switch that to something else. Green tea has also caffeine inside of it, but green tea, it's a much lower levels, and green tea is quite healthy otherwise. So, and then about the phone, it's really, really what I recommend with the phone is, like, if you are sensitive type of person, we respond differently to our phone, and our brain gets more overwhelmed of the scrolling and the demands. And of course, we all know how addictive it can be. So suddenly we see, like, okay, hour has just passed by and we don't know what happened because we were just going to reply to one message and we haven't even replied to that one message. So this is the problem with the phone. Learn to control your phone so that your phone is not controlling you. How to do that? Silence all the notifications. It's like when you have your phone next to you, even when you're working, the research shows that, it's going to distract you. it's there. And I hear people saying, I just grabbed my phone. It's like an autopilot. I didn't even want to take my phone, but I was working on something. And then I got the idea and I grabbed the phone. And it sounds like we all have these similar issues. So take your phone to another room when you're working. But in the mornings, when you don't have your notifications on and you keep your phone muted, and it's recommended that you keep it in another room where you sleep, with the very same reason, so that you don't get distracted, so that you don't want to grab it. And especially in the mornings, take your time to create a foundation for your day. So no coffee, no phone in the first hour. Sometimes we see something online, we see an email that is causing us stress or any kind of a feeling. And it's really difficult to shake off those feelings when we're starting our morning in that way. So it's for your emotional regulation as well. So I would say these are things that you want to change in your life. And also the third one is snoozing. It really gives you energy for all day. I have tested this personally, and as I said, I'm a snoozer. It's been really difficult for me to wake up in the mornings because for so long I didn't get enough sleep. And as a mom of a 6-year-old, I still remember those baby times because I woke up like 3-4 times per night for 3 years. But also before that, before parenthood, I think I never got enough sleep because I always stayed up too late and didn't wake up naturally in the morning before the alarm, which is happening to me now. And it's quite amazing that first I didn't even believe that I could have gotten enough rest and trust that I have rested enough when I'm waking up before alarm. And I don't even have an alarm. I have an alarm for my daughter at 7:30 for her, and I wake up naturally before that. And I trust that I got enough sleep. And I'm learning to trust myself that it's okay to wake up and it's okay to get up. I don't need to hang in there. But I see the connection with my burnout that's been 15 years ago when my big burnout happened. I have experienced smaller burnouts after, but that was the big one that really dropped me on my knees. And it started actually eventually led to start this career as a coach and hypnotherapist. And everything that I do today, it has led to that point. But it left a big mark in my body and in my nervous system. I felt quite sensitive and weak, and I felt like I can't take stress that much. My body can't take stress. My mind can't take stress because it got vulnerable and wounded because of the burnout and everything that happened. But it was related, my burnout was related to the fact that I didn't sleep well. I couldn't sleep well in a year. So I was super, super tired, and I was afraid to go to bed. I was afraid that I'm waking up. I was afraid that I can't sleep. I was afraid that I'm waking up in the morning and I'm extremely tired and exhausted. And still after 15 years, my body still remembered that a long time before I started making these changes. And really last year was the year when I decided I need to get up when I wake up. And that's non-negotiable. It's not always easy. And you almost have to roll out from the bed. But, it's remarkably changing my days, how I feel and how much energy I have throughout the day when I wake up and feel energized. But this means that, sometimes on the afternoon, there is an afternoon slump. And then what we can do is to get a little rest. If you work in the office, maybe you can get up from by the desk and maybe even take a little walk. Maybe you can get some fresh air. Maybe if you have a room where you can just relax, maybe you can go there and just relax. Or just, if it's okay, you can close your eyes for a little bit and just breathe. It's helpful. But those who can take a little break, it's a really good idea to just rest and listening to Yoga Nidra, for example, recording. It's called non-sleep deep rest that I started practicing a few years ago when I was super tired. when I was waking up a lot with my child during the nights and was working during the day. So I took time to rest, and I started realizing how much energy it gave me, even though I didn't sleep. I don't easily go to sleep, like fall asleep in the afternoons, but I was like, it's remarkable. And quite often I listen to hypnosis recordings, like suggestions, and that's so good and so relaxing. So 20 minutes break on the afternoons, if you can, it's really, really helpful. And it gives you a lot more than a cup of coffee. Even shorter times can be helpful. If you take the time what you have, take the time what you have and try it out. So I've been already sharing a couple of strategies and routines and what you can start doing in the mornings. What's recommended in the mornings as well, going for a walk in nature in the mornings. This is not possible for me most of the days. But if you can do it, it's amazing. If you can go out for a little walk in nature without your phone, getting natural sunlight, it's really, really helpful to set the course for your day and feeling calm. Other recommendations, of course, a little movement. It doesn't have to be a big exercise. It can be a little stretching. 5 minutes can be enough. 5 minutes of yoga, foam rolling, tapping, bouncing, like somatic experiencing exercises are really good in the morning when you wake up. And some people like to try, if they are working on a project, like writing project, this is what I want to try personally, is to wake up and start writing a little bit. Because what I'm working on personally is like I'm working on to create a habit of daily publishing and make it easy and effortless. So it doesn't take that long time. I started it this year, like in January. It's been a little bit bumpy road with all the sick days that we have had and all that. But there's consistency in this consistency. So this is what I'm saying. I'm sharing these examples because we don't have to be perfect, and we don't have to give up on creating new habits and bringing these tools that are really tools for our well-being, productivity, and feeling good and successful and happy in life in general. But it doesn't have to be every day, every day. It could be 3 times per day. It could be that you go back to it when you have like sidetracked. So it's always really, really important to remember, just go back to it, what's working for you. Don't give up on yourself or your well-being. So meditating, amazing. If you're new to meditating, start meditating 5 minutes. You don't need a timer. If you need a timer, use a timer. Timers are helpful with everything. I'm the one who could use like 3 hours for the morning routines, but I can't. So I have needed to become very efficient and manage my time in the morning so that I get everything done. But now it's so integrated part of my life that I know what I need in the mornings, meditating, journaling, and really the structure is so important because it's giving us like the discipline, but also things happen. But there's a freedom inside of the structure. If you resist structure and feeling that you don't want to be disciplined, I'm with you. Trust me, I'm with you. I've been with you, but it's been really, really helpful. I need freedom inside the structure. This is why I have a large toolbox. Of course, it's part of my work, but I have found the ways that work for me, and I'm easily testing and trying out new things. So that's something I would like to suggest for you as well. But try things out for a certain period of time, like for 1 month or for 21 days. Or start with a week. Make it easy. Start with 1 day, then go next day, then go the 3rd day. But don't think about it too much. Make it easy, make it doable. The baby step is the most important thing. And if you show up for yourself every day, suddenly you have created a new habit. Planning the days is really, really important part when we are talking about work-life balance, especially if you're an entrepreneur or business owner, manage your time, or freelancer. Planning your days, what you're going to do, what you're going to get done. Your 3 things are important so that you can look back at the end of the week and see your progress, like track your progress and analyze what's working and what's not working. what is not done. This is important. All this is part of my clarity method that I have created. I have created a planner, and I'm going to put the link down below, and you can get access to my free 5 questions clarity daily planner so that you can start using that, because I love those questions, and you don't have to be a journalist. You don't have to love to journal in order to do that, but it's really helping you to set yourself day ready, track habits, do things. And even though you have a day job and you're working for somebody else, it's a really good idea to plan your days, plan your weeks, and have clarity on what's going to happen. And what do you need to remember so that we can take off those things on to-do list and feel that we're getting there, feel that we are in control and leading our own lives. Less chaos and less stress, really. All this is aiming for that. Setting the mindset, using the affirmations. Yes, that is really powerful when you're learning to empower yourself with your own words. Change that mindset by supporting yourself, changing the negative thoughts to positive ones. Absolutely helpful and powerful. So please do not get overwhelmed. I'm going to wrap up and list everything that you can do. And you can always, if you're watching or listening this later, you can ask like, what are they really, how you can actually bring them part of your days. So quite often I hear people through my work, they want to optimize their life like for high performance. And me too, because I think our lives are really, really busy, no matter what we do, no matter where we live, and quite demanding and stressful nowadays in terms of technology as well. We all have like a list of tons of messages that are not probably replied. The demands are everywhere, and we were always supposed to do something. And we're always doing something, even though it's meditating, even though it's resting, even it's taking time off, we're always doing something. But the main thing why I'm talking about this and why I love this approach and why I know it's helpful, because it's proven. Everything, what I share here, it's proven by and backed up by science and research. And that was not the case like over 15 years ago when I started, for example, meditating. It was my personal journey to really starting to connect behind that cacophonic mind and connect with my emotions and connect with who I really was. And that led to changes in my professional life, but also in my personal life. And I started really choosing more of what I wanted to do, prioritize my time, prioritize my energy, prioritize my well-being. I changed, relationships, people who were not good for me, and started doing things that I had always wanted to do more, because I almost gave myself permission to live the life how I wanted to live it. It's very interesting what happened during that time. And I see this happening in other people's life as well, when they choose themselves and then they start feeling that they're living more authentic life, the way that they want to live and feel good about it. And these habits are part of that feeling, the sensation that you are in the lead, you have the daily clarity, that you are able to make choices that you want to do, you're able to express what you need, you're able to start new passion projects, for example, that are calling you, or really make the changes that you wanted to do. Make your goals and desires real. Okay, so let's start talking about how you can change your morning habits and create a morning routine. Start with your shoulds. As I mentioned when I started this today, do you think that you should get up earlier? Do you think that you should meditate more? Is there something that is really calling you? Have you wanted to start exercising more in the morning or have a little bit movement? And if you have family like I have and little kids, it's not always easy. But, when we do things, and my daughter has learned that in our home, we can exercise, we can do yoga, we can meditate, we can journal. And I just take a little bit time for that. And she's doing her own thing, like crafts and drawing and all that, what she loves to do a lot. So this is what we can teach to our kids as well. And they learn that connection with the self is an important part of the well-being. So maybe it's like if you don't have to wake up earlier, if you have time in the morning, how to start making the changes. Start with ditching your phone, disconnecting, taking your phone to another room first in the morning. Start planning your days. And by the way, it's really, really powerful to plan your days in the night before. And then you don't have to do that in the morning. You can just catch up like, okay, what did I have for today? But it's already planned, so it's already like imprinted in your mind. And it's tend to happen because everything what we plan and intended to do, it tends to happen. It's like I like weekly planning list. I make like a meal plans and I plan what I need to do. I do that on Mondays, like a big chunk of to-dos to get it out from my mind as well and to remember, because there's so much going on that I can't remember everything if I don't have that somewhere. But I'm not perfect with that. Quite often I look back, at the end of the week and I'm thinking, oh my God, like so many things happened because I have had intention to do that. But I don't put everything on my calendar like it happens on that day. I put work things on my calendar and plan work things, and that's good. And then, of course, I look at the days like what's happening today and what needs to happen and so forth. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but the idea is there. So when you plan your evening, when you plan your day in the evening before, you can use the 5-question daily clarity planner. I also put the link up that you can download the stressless guide, how you can connect with yourself more, and all of these routines and habits, and even more like how to regulate your emotions, that kind of practices are there. And then you can start planning your days in the morning or in the evening and start creating and making difference in your days. So the first most important thing, how to make time for it. Drop coffee first in the morning, drop your phone and stop snoozing. Start from there and see how does that go for 7 days, for example, and really track back every day. Like, how does it make you feel? Part of the daily planning and daily clarity method that I have is like to track back at the end of the day, what worked well, what didn't go that well. The gratitude practice or the appreciation practice, or you can call it like happiness practice. What made you happy today? What makes you happy in general in your life? When you do this every day, the research is showing like it gives you like 6 months of happiness when you do it consistently, honestly. So powerful. Gratitude and appreciations are really like highest level of emotions, even higher than love when we think about the emotional resonance and vibration. It gives you a sense of belonging and connection. It's amazing. That's one practice that I would recommend for you if you want to choose just a couple. So what went well? What didn't work that well? What are your plans for tomorrow? 3 main things for tomorrow. What are your intentions for the day? What are your long-term goals? What are your long-term goals? What are you aiming to do? And this is part of the having a vision for your life. I have another podcast about that you can go and listen, why it's really important to have a life plan, including a professional plan where do you want to be and how you're going to fulfill your potential. What obstacles you might encounter on that day. What can come in the way? Quite often we don't want to think about that. But for example, it can be like, okay, I have a tendency, to be late. I could be late. I don't want to be late. And because of that is creating like a snowball effect in your days. And then you just pay attention to it because our mind works that it has all kind of warnings and it wants to keep us safe and protect us and not to move forward and not to make any kind of a changes. So you might feel resistant when you're even listening to this because your mind is like, no, I don't want to change. I want to snooze. I want to feel overwhelmed. I want to distract because that's what I'm used to. And everything is familiar in that way, even though it's uncomfortable. We want to make good things comfortable for us. And that means that we have to get over that resistance part and understand, okay, I resist this and I'm going to change anyway. I want to keep going and doing these changes because it helps me feel good. It helps me to reach my goals. It helps me to improve my well-being. It helps me to improve my relationships with myself and others. I feel a lot calmer. I feel more regulated and balanced emotionally. These could be advice. And then take it to your personal level. It's a really good question to ask every day. How can I incorporate self-care and well-being into my day? When I'm going to do that? In the morning, during the day, in the evening? When are you going to meditate or just sit still and be still for a while? It's really helpful. And what worked? What didn't work at the end of the day? Journaling in general is a wonderful way that helps you to reflect on your thoughts, set intentions, and express gratitude and cultivate a positive mindset. It's a therapeutic tool to manage stress. It's like a soundboard, like you're talking to somebody and sharing your thoughts without any judgment, any fears that somebody's not really listening to you. It's a fantastic tool to help to regulate your emotions. I personally started journaling again, after the big burnout that I mentioned earlier. I had journaled since I was 8 years old. I got my first journal and I started journaling then. And then at some point in my days, I dropped the good habit and got back to it later on. And the daily planning habits are helping you to organize your tasks, prioritize your to-dos, and stay focused and see what's working for you in your life and be more mindful. Mindfulness is really like being present in the moment. And that's what many, many, many people want nowadays. Learn to be more mindful, learn to be more present. And it takes a while until the mind learns that, they just be still and being relaxed and feeling that we are present right there in the moment is good and safe. Breath work is always good if you're into it. Breathing exercises are helping. Box breathing, for example, is really, really helpful tool to help you to connect and energize your body and mind during the days, in the mornings or in the evenings, after work. It's really good to take little breaks during the transitions, before you go to work, in the middle of the day or in between the meetings. Just clear your mind with a couple of deep breaths in and out and set the intention for the next thing. Connect, reconnect with yourself, and then you can be more focused, more present. At the end of the day, for example, before you go home and meet your family or friends or go to the next thing, take a moment to pause. These are just a couple of minutes breaks and they give you so much energy and calmness. Okay, thank you. And summarize everything. Morning routines are there to set the tone for the day, enhancing productivity, mood, overall well-being, and balance. They help you to maintain and regulate your emotions, mental well-being, and create the days that you want to live. Feel good. The practices during the days are helping you to reconnect with yourself, balance your days, and planning your morning the night before is helping you to set yourself up for success. And then you don't need that much time during the days. And sometimes we're already want to move forward and we don't have time for it. So planning your morning before is really, really helpful tool. And it doesn't take that long, but it's also helping you to sleep well. And remember, you can start your day and habits anytime. Consistency is the key, but flexibility is important. And morning routines or these kind of clarity routines reduce decision fatigue. They promote mental and emotional well-being and build discipline. You really show up for yourself because too many people have this guilt and feel that they are self-betraying because they don't do enough, they don't exercise enough. And this is the way, this is the method and approach that helps you get things done that you want to do and to show up for yourself because it's important. And overcoming procrastination by breaking the tasks into smaller steps is the key. Using time blocking, practicing self-compassion, loving kindness, And ask yourself those 5 questions daily to stay focused and intentional, to lead your life, your work life, to let yourself flow, to learn to trust that you got this, that you can really feel good about yourself every day and feel less stressed. Okay, thanks for listening. I'm putting the links below so you can download the workbooks. And now I'm going to offer a little coaching for people who are here and they might ask some questions. So this is the bonus of joining the live sessions. So thank you for listening. My name is Jenny Glad and happy to help you with any questions that you might have. Have a good day.